Rock Simulator, truly one of the best, most challenging games in existence, but will I be able to survive for 100 days? Keep watching to see if I'll be able to ascend to the realm of the rock gods, or if I'll be stuck as a simple rock in the plains, only wondering what's really out there. Ah yes, I was now truly the pinnacle of existence, a simple rock. I didn't do much for the first day, I just sat there, enjoying all of the rocky pleasures that come from being a rock. Days 2 through 8 were pretty peaceful with not much to do. However, on day 9, so after a little over a week, I got tired of just sitting there in the plains and decided that I would travel somewhere new to change up the scenery a bit. Upon first arriving, the desert scenery was very exciting and very different from the field I was used to. The dry heat was a very nice change to the much milder, cooler temperatures of the plains. By even just the next day, the desert was insanely hot, and without shade, I wondered how much longer I would be able to handle this extreme heat. After only 3 days in the desert, on day 14, the heat and the lack of interesting scenery had gotten the better of me, so I decided to head back to my field for a few days to relax. For the next few days, I stayed in the field again before deciding to head out to a new location. Space was pretty interesting and completely different from the plains, though at first I thought it was going to be fairly boring just sitting there spinning aimlessly in 0Gs. However, it turns out that space was actually a great place to think, and while its scenery didn't change that much, it was still beautiful to see the stars dotting the sky over the next couple of days. After returning to the plains, I noticed something was different. There were tiny rocks dotting the landscape. So after clicking these rocks, they turned into an interesting shade of green, and after they blinked twice, they disappeared. After thinking for a bit, I decided that I would head out and check the other areas I had already been through, to search for more of the tiny rocks to interact with. I spent the next few days going through the desert and space again to check for more rocks. Sure enough, there were rocks in both locations, so I decided to spend some time figuring out the right combinations to these rock puzzles. After spending some time getting all the rocks in both the desert and in space to disappear, I decided I would continue spending time in other locations looking for and solving the various rock puzzles. The puzzle that I found in the snow biome took an insane amount of time to crack. There were a ton of combinations, none of which seemed to work. But finally, on day 50, halfway through the challenge, I was able to crack the code and move on. I decided I would check the north next. Compared to the snow biome puzzle, this puzzle was super easy to crack, only taking 4 days. After solving the north and the snow biome puzzles, I decided that I would try to find a warm place to spend the next couple of days to relax. There was even a rock puzzle in the log cabin that I ended up finding, but it only took 1 day to solve. I spent the next 5 days relaxing there. The next area I decided to explore was the jungle. As expected, there was a rock puzzle here, but it was by far the hardest puzzle I had faced. The first puzzle took some time to figure out, but after 7 days I was able to crack the code. What happened next, however, surprised me. Instead of disappearing, the rocks changed into gold, and began glowing green. This next puzzle was easy to figure out, just pay attention to the pattern of the glowing rocks, and it's solved. What I didn't understand, however, was why after finishing the code, nothing would happen except the rocks starting to glow green again. The next puzzle was much harder than initially anticipated. So far, I had realized that there were at least 3 steps to this golden rock puzzle, but each time I made a mistake, I would have to start over. That one simple caveat made this puzzle insanely difficult to figure out, and I spent 11 whole days just getting past the 3rd step. Turns out there was one more step to this puzzle after step 3. Getting there wasn't too bad, however. I had memorized the orders to the previous steps, so even if I messed up this next step, I could get back to it easily. I had done it. What so many had thought was impossible. I had ascended to the realm of rock gods. Had I become a rock god myself? I had so many questions and no answers, so I decided to stay in this realm for a few days and figure out my true potential. Turns out that answers about a rock's omnipotent powers don't just get told to you. So instead of sitting around in the astral plane some more, I decided to return to where it all began, to wait out my final days of this challenge, the plains. I had done it. I survived 100 days in Rock Simulator. I was able to complete every rock puzzle I came across, as well as become an Ascended Rock. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed this. I had a ton of fun making this video, and I know voiceovers and, 100 days videos, they're not really my style, but I had a ton of fun making them, and I hope in the future I can make even more in this style. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps a small channel like me. And let me know in the comments what kind of content you would like to see. I'm really interested and I'm excited to make more.